Hey everyone, it's Holly Hall from Askhollyhall.com. And today we are going to talk about imposter syndrome. Have you ever had imposter syndrome where you started a career, you started a job, and you married somebody, you started a relationship, you got in with a group of friends, and you just didn't feel like yourself? There are specific signs and specific attributes within an astrological chart that will determine whether somebody is susceptible to this on a regular basis. The first one is Libra. Now, of course, you guys know I do a type of Vedic sidereal astrology. So you may be a Western Libra, but not be a sidereal Libra. But in most cases, many of your planets, which is the most important part of your chart, will have Libra in it. So it's not just if you're a sun sign Libra, you've got to have a couple of planets in Libra, and it's got to be a very strong component of your chart. Also, if you've got a lot of planets in your seventh house, that is where Libra's house is. It's the owner, the rulership of the seventh house. If you've got negative aspects to the Libra or within the seventh house, such as conjunctions, which can be at times, depending on what planet it is, squares and oppositions. If you have any of those, you are the classic people pleaser. There is a tendency for you to do what makes other people happy. Now, you may take a look at your childhood and you may say, well, my mother did this to me. My father did this to me. My upbringing was a contributing factor to the fact that I need to please people. And they definitely may be a contributing factor, but they were not the creation of it. We are born with karmic characteristics that we've come into this lifetime in order to grow, learn, expand on, or reduce those personality traits. What we will do is we'll purposely choose childhood and family situations in order for us to push us over that edge so that we stop becoming that people pleaser. How you're going to know that you're a people pleaser is there is a tendency for you to just want to make everybody happy. Now, ultimately, I want you to admit this. You want to make yourself happy. The reason is because you don't like confrontation. You don't want to debate with anyone or argue. You may, depending on what's in your chart, a lot of Libras will have Virgo in their chart. You may have a fear of being wrong. If you've got abandonment issues, you may have a fear of rejection, which triggers your abandonment issues. You also want to take a look at if it's an opposition, then there is the ability to be able to create the opposition will be Aries, to create a bravery and a courage, the gumption, the fortitude, the independence to be able to stand up to yourself if you're pushed to that edge. Or if it is a square, there is more of a challenge there. However, you still have the ability to work through that challenge, to fight through it. It's sort of a disability, not a disability, but a disability. But it doesn't mean that you cannot fight through that disability and make it a strength. And that's what I love to help people with. The way that it's going to square will create challenges in which other people in your life will challenge you to be yourself. You might have a parent that was telling you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and the way to do it. And the way that you survived that as a child was to become that people pleaser. You may have been raised with a sibling that was very difficult on your parents and on your family, and you may have chosen to be the good girl or the good boy in order not to rock the boat further and create more a displeasure of a childhood. You see, really what it comes down to is that your childhood is so difficult and challenging as it is in certain aspects to a larger degree or a smaller degree that you want to try to make it as easy on you as possible. So you make yourself smaller. You revert back into your inner being. Now, the other one besides Libra can be Pisces. Pisces is a Neptune. Now, Neptune will create abandonment issues if it's a negative, such as a square, conjunction, or opposition, and also Pisces as well. And the 12th house, we want to take a look at that. What happens is you become invisible to yourself. So with the Libra, you lose a sense of who you are because you become what everybody else wants. So you don't really know what you want after a while. In fact, you don't even know that you want what you want. You really think that you're just such a great people pleaser, but you don't realize that you're losing your identity by not having your own say, your own rights, and to say no or to pause, the power of pause. With Pisces, there's a tendency to be invisible, spend a lot of time alone in your room, not really interacting with a lot of people. And you may find that this Pisces or Neptunian energy makes you create such an invisible scenario that you don't know who you are either, because you're making yourself in the, you're putting yourself in the shadows, you're putting yourself backstage. You don't really realize it. If you put yourself in the limelight, hey, maybe you'll shine. And then other people, jump forward into that limelight. And then you might feel that nobody sees you, nobody hears you, nobody acknowledges who you are. The other one that can be as well is the sign of Cancer, because Cancers are so intuitive and so empathic. There's a tendency for them not to be around crowds because the empathic nature creates such a moodiness or a mood swing within themselves because they're absorbing all of the feelings and the emotions of others, that they separate themselves with people in general, except for maybe just a very small, if even just one person that they can feel that their heart center is safe and that they can just be themselves emotionally and not be walking on eggshells around other people's emotions or even what they might seemingly think are their own moods. Most of the time it's not. Same with Pisces. Both of you are absorbing other people's moods. If you find yourself changing your mood, or your mood changes drastically when you walk into a room or a grocery store or a bank or somebody else walks into the room, then it's not yours, it's theirs. So there may be that tendency that I'm just not important enough because you just don't put yourself out there. And that's the imposter syndrome can come in to play as well, and making yourself a lot smaller. The last one, which can be very strong, is Virgo. Now, remember, this is not just your sun sign. In Vedic astrology, Sidereal astrology, the most important is your ascendant and your moon. Yeah, more than the sun. So we want to look at all of the planets. You can go to my site, Askhollyhall.com, and there's a free chart area. It says free charts, and you can calculate your own chart. If you want to do the sidereal version of it, then you can go to astro.com, but you do have to go into the advanced section, the extended chart section, and then you add sidereal there. Okay, with that being said, if you are a Virgo, there is a tendency to be a perfectionist. And a lot of people misunderstand that. They think that being a perfectionist means that you're perfect. And first of all, there's no such thing as perfect. And second of all, wanting to become a perfectionist is really challenging, extremely challenging, because there is no such thing as a perfectionist. Therefore, there's a tendency to not want to put yourself out there because you're not going to be perfect enough or the best, which is a big mistake because practice makes progress, not perfect. Practice makes progress. Secondly, there is a tendency that other people are going to judge me. Libras can do that as well too. Other people can judge me. Other people will see that I'm not doing it perfectly or that I'm not doing it right. And because there's a tendency to want to be the best of the best of the best of the best, whatever that is, then there's a tendency like, why am I even doing this? I'm not perfect enough. I'm not great enough. I don't have tons of experience. I'm not going to nail this. I'm not going to ace this. So why do I even bother? That's the imposter syndrome as well. Hopefully this helps you understand what an imposter syndrome is. What is the cure to it? The cure to it for Libra is let's start off. Yeah, Libra is to pause. Never say yes, okay? You can say yes after a moment's notice or an extended period of time. If it's a small thing, like, will you pick me up a cup of coffee while you're going out to the pharmacy? You just pause and say, did you say you wanted me to pick up a cup of coffee? That'll give you a second to pause. And they'll be like, yeah, like Starbucks. And you'll be like, oh, I'm not even going near Starbucks. I don't know how long I'm going to be at the pharmacy. But if I can, I'll text you. And most likely they're going to go, hey, don't worry about it. Like Sherry down the hall's going. I'll just get her to go. And you'll be like, whew. Okay. Now, You will go to that pharmacy and you will feel guilty and you feel like you're going to go way out of your way to go and get the coffee anyways, but do this on a regular basis and you will start to curb your bad habit. If it's a longer commitment, such as can you take over Sherry's job on Friday because she's going to be away, or your husband's asking you or a friend's asking you, do you want to go to an event on the weekend? Can I let you know after dinner? Can I let you know in the morning? Can I let you know by Friday? Give yourself time to pause because you need to weigh everything out, Libra. Pisces, shine. Just put yourself out there. Tell somebody how you feel. Tell somebody that you feel invisible, or you don't feel important enough, or that maybe you're not special enough. Just put it out there to somebody, and then that will help you put yourself out there basically. But also take a look at your abandonment issues. What am I afraid of? What is it that's going to trigger my abandonment? What is my abandonment? I mean, that might take a deeper dive into doing a reading with me. And for Cancer, take a look at your feelings and your emotions. And you know what? You really want to help somebody. You really want to help heal somebody. Same with Pisces. Or you really want to contribute or nurture. Then you have to put yourself out there because other people are missing out on your nurturing, healing abilities. And Virgo, sometimes we just have to get over ourselves. I got a lot of Virgo in my chart too. We have to get over ourselves. We're not perfect, and no such thing as perfect, nor should we want to be perfect. And the only way that we're going to learn how to progress is by putting ourselves out there. I hope this helps you. Namaste.